Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Average Home Tool. Tonight, impact wrenches. Not so much max torques. We will mention it and get into that, but we're talking about trigger control, usability, and what purposes they may have. First up, what can you say about it? It's a rocking dog impact, which means there's a little dog in there that rocks as this comes around, catches it, and spins the whole thing. 240 foot-pounds, that's usually what they're rated at. Some are rated at 300. It doesn't even achieve that. Guys, you really, really need to upgrade from this. You can't trust wheel nuts if you put them on with it. It does have its use, though. And once I upgraded it to a V-style fitting, it did get a lot better. It has a pretty good trigger on it. So if you're using it to run stuff down speedily and you don't want to slam a ton of torque on it, it has its uses, like I said. Now, we're talking about 1/2 inch tonight, and that's all we're going to focus on. We'll do 3/8 another night, specialty impacts, things like that. Next up, this is a classic. This is obviously a Harbor Freight, but it's a copy of an Ingersoll Rand 231C. About 580 foot-pounds is what this is rated for. This is a twin hammer impact, which means it has two hammers in there that spin, and when the anvil stalls out, they hit it and try to beat it around. Harbor Freight really got it right with this one. It's loud, but it has a wonderfully controllable trigger. Awesome trigger control on this one. Your speed settings right here, speed or power settings, and that's your reversing valve. Next up, I used this one for years. This was the very first earthquake model that came out. I think it was like $70 at the time. Again, V-style fitting with some crap in it, and I think this one's rated for about 700 foot-pounds. The trigger isn't as controllable, but it's pretty good. Three speeds forward, 1 speed reverse. That's kind of a hindrance because if you have a left-hand thread bolt that you're trying to run down and just get snug or face on, I mean, you really got to be able to control the trigger on it. So, next up, the Earthquake XT, Extreme Torque. It's another Ingersoll Rand copy, and it's another step up over that. This one has 1,000 foot-pounds max torque. Again, I don't care. The max torque rating does mean it hits harder, and that's all I care about. This one, it really doesn't have a very controllable trigger on it, but it's not meant for that. It's meant to slam bolts down or take them off. Now, here's where you're going to spend money. This is, at the time of this, the most powerful impact on the market, I believe. Ingersoll Rand 2235. 1,350 foot-pounds of torque. It was extremely loud, but I put Scotch-Brite in the exhaust outlet. It probably took some of the torque away from it. But if an impact can be perfect, this one sure gets close. The trigger is awesome. It's got 4 power settings in either forward or reverse. Okay. What's the downside to it? It is expensive. And if you've got the money to pay for that, that's the one I recommend. But if you don't have the money, this one is about $150 less than that one. It's got 3 power settings, in forward or reverse. So you don't have to worry about having to be able to control the trigger and not slam something down. This one here is the winner for the bang for the buck category. Yeah, it's not making as much torque as that, but it's still putting out 1,000 foot-pounds, and I've never, as far back as I can think that I've had this thing, I don't think I've ever been able to not get something off with it. Now, the choice is yours. What you want. You want to spend the $300 on the Ingersoll Rand? Go for it. It's a wonderful tool. I can't say enough good about it. $20-something for this. Guys, I really wouldn't trust it unless you just need something to speedily run stuff down with. $40-something for this. This would be the winner if you really have a tight budget, because this is still hitting very hard, and it's trustworthy, in my opinion. Either of these two, well, if you get one of these two, you probably won't need something like that. I just wanted one of these and got it. And I do use all my impacts, even the crappy Rocket Dog one. I have several of those. So like I said, the choice is yours. And if you want me to go in-depth on any of them and give you a full in-depth review of it or a comparison between two of them, please let me know in the comments, and I'll be happy to make a video like that. Guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm just getting started with this. I'm sure I'll get better as time goes on. Thank you very much, and have a great evening.